Let's hear. Come on, you're teaching the class today. Go on. Start. I started recording. Introduce yourself.
My name is Giddy.
Giddy.
But you guys can call me
James Bond.
Mr. Big Lighter.
Big Lighter. You're going to teach us intimacy?
I can do whatever you want. I haven't had much of a chance to have a non-toxic relationship, but I think... Why is that funny? Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
You know each other too well, that's the problem.
Yeah. I don't
think you're appropriate to teach us.
I don't think it's appropriate to love someone who's just... You're aware that's not a very bad relationship.
Okay, so today I brought a computer. Thank you, Giddy. Did a good job.
No worries. Till next time.
Till next time. There was a thought of, good morning, me teaching the ladies class as well, but I think the ladies teacher in the end made it last minute. So I'm happy in a way because I wanted us to finish off like boys, intimacy boys, and if the girls would have come, it would have been like shifted the focus. And if we get a chance to do something together, we'll get a chance. But until then, so I brought my computer. Because I have lots of work to do and I didn't really want to waste my time talking to you guys. So if you don't mind, I'm just joking. I brought it because I wanted to show you some crazy footage from the Gaza war. Crazy footage. Like the most, if you miss this, yeah, you're crazy if you miss it, yeah? Because it's such intense stuff, what's going on in Gaza and the last... I mean, all these pictures are stories in themselves, and there's hundreds of them. I'm going to just make this a big one because this is like an example of what's going on. I mean, this is just one example of just hundreds of pictures, but if you look at this picture, can you see what's going on? So this is from my son has a camera.
Wow.
And these are terrorists. They're all blindfolded. They're all in white on the floor. These guys are not small guys. They're like, if they stand up, they're, if not bigger than the actual soldiers. They're like pretty big dudes. And they've all been captured. My son...
Do you want to connect to the board?
We could do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Why are they all wearing white?
Huh?
Why are they all wearing white?
It's part of the the dehumanization to get them to interrogate. It's also security reasons probably also, so they know that they've been body checked and everything else. It's so I wasn't intending making this a focus, but I think it's important for the sake of clarity and truth. We should probably turn off the light. I don't know if that's doable.
Can you just move the big ones?
And we're going to go through some of the crazy footage, but before we do, I just want to have in mind my son, YITZCHAK MASHA, Bnei Akiva Mechina, and all the other unbelievable soldiers who are out there. I have videos as well. I don't know if this has been approved by the army.
It's okay, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I just want you guys to just keep this between us. Other than the recording, they're not going to see it, so it's fine. And I want you to realize that, this is real, what's going on right now. And it doesn't make you feel very intimacy focused. But what I got from my son was an unbelievable inspiration from the fact. I'm going to just put it on, when it does slides. Is that an option? Let's have a look. Start slideshow. I'm just going to have it playing, okay? Because there's like hundreds here and I don't want to just spend the whole time moving it around.
Give it like a...
Yeah, so this is near the end of his journey in Gaza the last 2 months before he came home this last weekend. And as you can see, all the terrorists are on the floor and they're being disciplined. They're not allowed to speak. If they speak, they do get beaten up. Like that's just... no, it's needed. And, these guys, their unit are amazing. That's my son. They're amazing. He's got a Negev, if you can see.
Negev. What unit is he?
Negev. It's San Chanim, but it's joined up with what's it called? With it's joined up with it's called Unit 98. Now this has gone back to the beginning when he first got to Gaza. This is from the outside, so we're going to go through the whole story now. And as you can see, these are the different units.
Hey, they made it now.
Yeah, this guy I met this Saturday night. I drove down with my son to Oitef Aza because that's where they were employed. Literally, they came. You have to understand what's going on with Sam Khanun. This is 48 hours. They got given permission to come out of the army. The first time was 2 months into the war, more than any other. It was over 100 days, actually more than 2 months. It was over 100 days. And then a second time was 2 months later, was this weekend. And he's a lifted soul, a holy soul, my son. And he's also a tough kid as well. Like, you know, he knows how to handle himself. Like someone made fun of my wife or something, like telling me beat him up completely. He's that kind of kid. But the point is he's using it now for good things. And yeah, thank God. I'm very proud of him. These are different terrorists that they captured over the time. This is right near the beginning when they first went into Khan Yunis. So this is the second time he went back. The first time he didn't have a camera. The second time he went back just with a regular camera. This is all regular camera footage. So unlike a lot of his friends who have GoPros or other ways of videoing or picturing, he had to actually hold a camera. So it wasn't so practical in combat to use it. So next time he's coming, we managed to get fundraised and got like a really, not just a GoPro, better than a GoPro. I don't know what it's called, osmosis or something. It moves like when you move around. It's like skateboarders use it.
Stability.
Yeah, it has.
Stability.
And it's got 128 gigabytes. So this time he came back with 60 gigabyte of material. Next time he's got 128. The hope is it'll come back again in another few months or whenever it is, whenever the next come out. And you're going to see a lot of pictures of them just like hanging out kind of thing. But the reason why we're going to see all this kind of, because you see every house they go into, they sort of take it over. They have to go around the whole house. We've got loads of videos of them doing that. They put markers everywhere. That's the graffiti that you see, the spraying. And, you know, he's become really close with these boys. And just, if you understand these boys' backgrounds, they're all completely different. We're talking about from the most left to the most right, to the most irreligious, to the most religious, to every kind of nation. There's like Thailandi guy, there's a guy from Hodu, there's a guy Ethiopian, there's like every kind of people. Russians, Ukrainians, they're all together. No war. And yeah, they're all together and they're all helping each other to win this war. He's become very close with this Gingy dude. They call him Gingy or something. It's not surprising. What just happened there?
Wait, your computer turned off.
Oh really? Oh no.
There you go, tap your mouse back.
Well, that's what it was?
Yeah.
It's not the power?
No.
Oh, that's good news. Thank you. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about intimacy, yeah? Because it's very important that we get into that.
Would you have footage of?
We'll do the footage after we've done the pictures. So we're just going to leave this playing. Hope it's not too distracting. I want to end off the class with the focus that these guys have. It looks like they're chilling, but they're not. They're on duty. Like my son told me the other day that he was sitting journaling. He has a book he's writing. I haven't seen that. He didn't show it to me, but he's writing a book, like of all the experiences. And as he was sitting there, bullets start come flying through, and they're on the radio that they're being attacked, their unit, and they had to get straight into defensive action. So he's all the time in a state of focus, even if it looks quite relaxed. That's just their way of laying off steam, I suppose, in living in such scenarios, living in Khan Yunis. And you know, these are like Arab houses they're going into. They don't go through the door, they go through the wall. But the focus, because obviously booby traps, things like that, but the focus there, I mean, all the time there's gunfire and going off, drones flying around. It's a war scene. It's not like, I mean, look at these pictures. This is not like, you know, a nice Sunday afternoon in Migdal Oz. This is war. Anyway, so my opinion, our generation, we're in a state of war constantly, not just in Gaza, but globally and internally. We're in a state of war, and to think that once there's no more longer wars is we don't have to be in that state of readiness is a mistake. We mentioned last week about removing the distractions. We have to really honor the time that we're living. Every minute is precious, like you see from here. When he came back from the army service, 48 hours was all he had. So he has to think about what is he going to do in those 48 hours. Because after that, he's back. We drove them down to Gaza, and all their boys, they're like dancing around, so energized to be together, and the higher-ups had to come and sort of maneuver them to go get food, and where the DJ was playing, the barbecue and everything, yeah? They had to maneuver them, because they wanted to just be together. I felt the love, the energy between all of them. They were just so like together. Hopefully you guys have created that bond in this program at least somewhat, but they're literally living together. By the way, there's even a female doctor amongst their unit, and she's become like one of the boys, you know? And there's none of that energy, because it's just about mission. It's mission focused. Yeah, you're not thinking about that kind of stuff in this situation. So anyway, they're very, very focused. They're 48 hours home. So it makes you realize the importance of time, just to relate to the previous class we spoke about. So he literally used, by the way, that's how they have to, every time they're sitting around, they have to be in that state of, that position. They can't just whenever there's an army situation, they have to be in that crouch position. I don't know if you've seen soldiers guarding, but you don't just sit or stand. It's a certain position they have. So he's already, when he was in Lebanon, he's caught terrorists with binoculars. There's so much situations where what they're doing is captured. And you have to know, recently it was just announced that Khan Yunis, the Hamas presence has been eliminated. Yeah?
All of Khan Yunis?
Pretty much. I mean, the problem is what my son said, like that they don't talk about so much, is the tunnel network is so extensive that that's still an issue, because it's so extensive. And they do have, thank God, the Matkal who go in to the tunnels. You have to be highest level to go into the tunnels, because it's proper crazy down there. So that only the best of the best go down to the tunnels. Like it would be like in the way we'd understand it from the US would be like the SEALs,
They don't even go into the tunnel really.
But yeah, they're just flooding them, they're blowing them up, sending dogs down there, drones to check out what's going on.
Videos are from 3 weeks of working on that.
Yeah, they have to first work on the tunnel before they actually go in, exactly. So yeah, it's an extensive, and that's why it's taking so long. It's such an extensive mission. Also, for my son, he's going house to house. That's more his mission, guarding the other units. He's part of...
Which could do this?
Huh?
Which could do?
San Khanim.
Yeah, but like...
I don't know if I should say, because I'm recording, I don't want it to be like... but it's a one in the news all the time. You hear about it. They get a lot of coverage. Anyway, so he... the focus he had to have when he came home. So what did he do? First thing first, haircut. Because he felt like a shmerel, like his hair was all, beard was very long. He needed to get a haircut. So we took him to Yerushalayim. Now we were standing there waiting to get the haircut, and the guys there were like, you have to go Lefi Seder. So I wasn't there that moment when they said that to him. When I came afterwards, I just had taken my wife to the bathroom. I came back and they're like, what? Lefi Seder? I wanted to make a whole balagan. Like, how can you make my son wait? He's got 48 hours. He's giving his life up for you, bunch of kids. It was like a bunch of punk kids, like us or whatever. Like, he's giving up his time and you're making him wait in a queue. He's got 48 hours. Like, get out of the way. So my son said, don't make a whole story. So I didn't say, but they could see I was getting like that kind of energy. So then they thank God they started doing his hair. And he just felt a little bit like coming back to normal life, how everyone's so like sort of in their own little worlds, like in their own little phone world or social world or like bubble. And they're not realizing what these guys are doing every day, like giving up their life. And they just feel a bit like pissed off, like they're not being appreciated fully of what they're doing. So he was feeling that a little bit. But anyway, the rest of the time was just amazing. We were with family. We got to see some of this footage. It was amazing to look at. We were like, he wanted to go see my rabbi to get a blessing. I never asked him for that. He asked himself. We went to my rabbi. Then he went out with his boys and he didn't get blasted. The last time he got blasted, and it ruined his 48 hours. So he didn't get wasted. Yeah, even though there's a feeling you need to do like let off steam, but he didn't want to spend the whole time like half drunk, recovering from what he did. So he didn't do that. And then the next day we took him to a pedicure, massage. We took him to Bat Yam. Beautiful pictures by Bat Yam. Bat Yam, by the way, is beautiful beach. Really beautiful. Even in the winter, it was beautiful. And then Shabbat, we had the most beautiful Shabbat with him. It was like 2 days of Gan Eden, literally. The light that he brought to my home. And the Nukuda I want us that's going to help us in the intimacy course to end off, the finale, is the focus. The focus that he had, even when he was home, he was so present. He put on music and he just sang with his whole heart. It's like one of the things why I didn't want to do music so much about myself before music, because I didn't see how they all have these GoPros. My son's got like a really good one, like the best you can get to go back with now. And then he won't have to hold it, yeah? But the whole point is that what I wanted you to take with you from the intimacy course is the focus that we all need to have. We all need to get more focused about what we're here for. That we didn't just come to Israel just to like have a good time. We came to Israel, one, there's been a war, so you've experienced something which you would never experience in America or wherever you were from. Two, you're in a program where they help you like understand your value system. Remember, we spoke very much about values, keeping that your priorities, making sure you're in a win-win mindset, you're here for each other. Well, you learn a lot of these skills, you applied them, you lived them, like some of the guys who are running the program somewhat, like making sure there was more going on, taking responsibility. This is like real stuff. So now when we're looking at these soldiers, we're seeing how much they literally, see that's the position they have to be in the whole time. They're literally saving each other's lives all the time. They've all got each other's back. It's a different level of responsibility for each other than, what are we doing today in the program? It's a different level. It's life or death. The terrorists can pop out of holes, tunnels, you don't know. And you've got to be ready for it. Any minute there could be an attack. And there has been. And he's got like crazy stories of stuff that's happened. Like one of the things when they go into the houses and they capture terrorists, they get to see Shabak come in and what Shabak do. Yeah, you know what Shabak is, yeah? Yeah. Shabak come into the house and they literally like torment these guys to get information. And some of them, they know that they've from the intelligence they've got, they know that some of these guys were part of for example, the whole October the 7th Nova massacre and all the crazy stuff that went down. Some of them they've captured. My son's seen some of them from that original attack, and the way Shabak deal with them, it's not. Let's just say it wasn't a pleasant experience. Yeah, like proper nakama, yeah, revenge, and as well as getting information. That's the objective, obviously. Okay. Nice to see you, man.
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem. We're just going through the pictures from my son while we're discussing intimacy, and he just came back from Khan Yunis, just to give you and he's gone back already Saturday night. By midnight, he'd already handed back his phone. Think about that. He had 48 hours. I went through the 48 hours, but he had 48 hours to see his family, to see his friends, to see his Rebbe, his rabbi, to experience Shabbat with the shul. The shul were amazing. Shirat David gave him such love of Shlomo. Everybody there was giving him such love. He was like a melech. They were treating him like a melech. Thank God there was amazing appreciation from a frat. He couldn't be happier to be back in a frat for Shabbat after being in Khan Yunis. And then literally by midnight, his phone, the last phone call, he said, to my wife, Ima, Mummy, I'm giving the phone in now, this is it. And my wife's like, you've got this. Even though she wants to cry and be all emotional, she's like, no, you've got this. That was, huh?
Is this Motzach?
Yeah, Motzach Shabbos. And he was already in, that's it. Off. We got a message a few hours later, they're already back in Khan Yunis, back in mission mode. So it's crazy to think how focused they had to be those 48 hours. Now imagine if we could live life with that kind of perspective, that we've only got 48 hours. We've only got 48 hours. Imagine that with our relationships, how much more we'd appreciate the person. That's what it was like with him. It was amazing because we were so focused on the time with him that it was just about quality. And we overlooked any potential fights or issues. It was just about focusing in on the relationship. This guy, by the way, his father's a really big higher up in the army. I met them both on Saturday night, Motzei Shabbos, and he's higher up. And I was standing next to him. It was such a funny image, me with the beard and the tzitzis and everything, and him with the bald head, completely secular. And he's starting to make blessings and things like that on food. For some reason he's picked it up in the war. Not religious at all, but for some reason he's into this blessing thing. So all the time he's screaming out blessings, when he drinks water or whatever. So they've all like influenced each other in a good way, like positive stuff. And as you can see, the thing on my son's arm is Mashiach. He has a new one now, the base of English as well, that we sent him back with. And this is where before he got his new gun, the Negevist. Because basically, did I tell you something about the Negevist? That the one before, he was at the front, his ears got affected from all the explosions and everything. So he's still not recovered. So my son's going to be the Negevist now, like the leading frontline Negevist. That guy's unfortunately not coming back for now. So that's why he moved into that position, because an older, more experienced guy switched. Oh, you would have enjoyed these, man. You're missing we've got all the pictures of my son and Khan Yunis. You've got to come. We're going to get to the good stuff in a minute. Your kind of footage. You're going to love every second. So I was just saying, like, for me with music, because my son was like pouring out these songs. I was talking about music before. One of the reasons why I didn't want to get into music, because I didn't feel like I'd fully be coming from a sincere place from my soul. So I had to first connect more to my soul before I feel I could communicate. And what was so beautiful when my son was back for those 48 hours, the second time since the beginning of the war, is I really felt his soul. I really felt his presence, his focus, and everyone in the family was focused. Everyone in the community was focused. Everyone knew that this was like not to be taken for granted, this special moment. And in a way, imagine if we could live life that way all the time. Like at least try and a little bit back of our mind, remind ourselves that life is precious, time is precious. Let's really tune in to the relationships we have. This would be like the best advice for us to leave off. Like this week's Parsha, we have Aaron a Cohen. My son's a Cohen, yeah? I'm a Cohen. So Aaron a Cohen went to Lifnai Lifnim. You know what that means? Who knows? What's Lifnai Lifnim? The inner sanctuary, yeah? He went to the Kodesh Kadoshim. Yeah? So what's the Kodesh Kadoshim, brothers? The brother, this shmuck, this chair, is like melech. There's even nicer chairs later on. By the way, these houses are nice. So he went into the Holy of Holies. What's the Holy of Holies? So it represents intimacy. Intimacy is this place you go into. Really, you have to understand the way the woman's built. You're entering into the Holy Holies. You're entering into this inner sanctum where you bring down these souls. That's like the Kruvim, these two like cherubs facing each other, these holy, pure faces facing each other in intimacy, bringing down that holy souls. That's really where the source of our Torah, our holiness, it comes from a place of intimacy. So when the base of English was destroyed, for example, they were in embrace, those two Kruvim. Even though you say, wait a minute, why they're not meant to be in embrace when God's not happy with us. But the point was that in the end, God's always happy with us. We're always intimately connected to God. This is the truth of who we are. So that intimate place of Lifnai Lifnim, this is a very focused, beautiful place where all the blessing for the year comes down Yom Kippur, and it's a special place where we connect most intimately. We all have it within each of us, because Hashem said He's going to put it within us, and every husband and wife have that experience of intimacy in that place of Holy of Holies. It's called the Holy of Holies, Kodesh Kadoshim, when you're intimate with your wife, with your soulmate. To understand that this is like really the goal of our people, is to bring to the world how intimately bound up we are as souls and as people. So when you're with, say, this situation with my son in the war, even though it seems like the opposite of this, because it's like people killing each other, it's not intimate, but there is an intimacy, one, between the unit. They have to live together constantly, and make each house they're in, they have to make it a little home for that day. They have to figure out where they're going to sleep. They figure out where they're going to eat. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with all the paraphernalia from Hamas and from UNRWA. My son said he saw it again and again in all the houses. It wasn't just Hamas stuff, it was UNRWA as well. UNRWA fill up those houses, yeah? All the UN stuff. They're just as much involved with Hamas when you're in those places. They're bound up. There's no separation, Hamas and UNRWA. They're the same kind of thing. So he saw that with his own eyes. So the international community is to blame as well for this whole crazy war, because they're part of that, UNRWA. So we have to realize that this is something like the enemy is outside of us, it's within us. It's not just an external war. And therefore, what we have to do is be very focused in our mission, what we're here for. It's like these soldiers. We have to be very, very focused in using time, in appreciating. Because the thing you think about the most when you're at war, what do you miss most? What do you think they miss most? Yeah, very good. Mishpocha, family. They miss the family. Yeah, that's what they miss. They miss the intimate connection. Yeah, like if you've watched any war movies, who do they have a picture on their like army place? Who do they have a picture of? They have a picture of the president. Their wife, their girlfriend, the person they love. Yeah, their mother, their family. Yeah, that's what it makes you realize. And these people become your real family in the war because you don't have any phones, you have no distractions. You're just tuned into each other and how you can get this mission done. As you can see, they're like using all the different things in these Arab houses, in the Gazan houses, to be able to go to the next house, go to the next house. And it's a continual mission of uncovering and capturing terrorists and uncovering what's in these houses. And we conquered Khan Yunis. It's been conquered, Baruch Hashem, on an external level. Underneath, there's still issues, but it's been conquered. Look, they've got these crazy cards. Anyway, I want to ask you guys, all of you, please, to remember what we experienced together in this course, that we weren't just getting together every 2 weeks or so, just to whatever, to learn some concepts. We try to think about how you can apply a lot of the stuff. We started off with kindness, with having a mission statement, being proactive, mission statement, and then focusing on our priorities, and we focus on win-win, we focus on learning how to listen to people, especially the other half. You want to have a good marriage, you're going to have to figure out how to communicate to this lady. And also synergizing, realizing there's a beautiful synergy, you join together, it creates multiplicity, you get more and more successful, you scale, you start to build. You need the other person to grow your business, to grow your home, to grow your mission in life. And then you have the review. We have to go over everything we did. All the classes are recorded. I put them in the chat. You can reach out to me anytime you have any questions, anything. Like, life gets difficult, and I've had guys reach out to me years later, and it helped them, because I'm always that kind of guy who makes myself available. You know, one guy right now he's going through relationship issues, trying to figure out getting married and stuff. I give him like a session once every so often. We get on the phone and we talk about the relationship struggles, and it's been helpful for him just to talk to a person who's not like involved, like he's not a rabbi or a teacher in his program, he's not a parent, he's not someone with history from before. I'm in a different space, so I don't mind giving that time to people. And another thing is then what we spoke about last week, which I think is really important. The last 2 times we spoke about finding your voice and hearing her voice, hearing what she's about. So she's going to have her mission as well, giving space for that. And we also talked about getting rid of distractions. But today, the most important point is just really tune into life. Tune into the oneness of life, the soul level, the intimacy of life. There's a beautiful relationship that's waiting for all of you. It's the most important thing. It's going to give your life focus. Because when you have, why do we end up with one woman, one love? Anyone seen that movie yet? One Love? Anyone's into Bob Marley? Nobody?
Oh, the Bob Marley movie?
Yeah, nobody's into Bob. I'm too old already.
Well, you know what's the movie, but like, I'm so into Bob Marley.
You are into Bob?
I know of him, like, I don't want like crazy.
Ziggy Marley? Any of the new generation of the Marleys? It's like old school. Huh?
And not like another name.
Another name. So the new generation don't really get into Bob.
I went to Jamaica once.
Really?
On a cruise, yeah.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Did you go to Bob Marley's house?
Yes. I got a hat, like with the dreadlocks, you know.
Yeah, so one of the things I want to say about that movie, I went to see it because we were just freaking out about my son. We didn't know if he was coming home or not. It wasn't announced.
Nice.
It wasn't announced. It was. Some of these pictures are funny. It wasn't announced about my son's where they're going to get let out. No one knew. It was so Wednesday night. My wife was on Spilkers. Is he coming home? Is he not? All the mothers of the soldiers were on Spilkers. They heard they are coming, but there wasn't certain. So I said to my wife, we need to go do something just to distract you. So we went to the movies. We haven't gone to them once. It just didn't feel right. But that night I was like, you just need to get out. So we sat in this movie. She knows I'm a Bob Marley fan, and we're watching the movie. It was very good. And suddenly she gets a call. Yes, they're coming out. She gets a call from my son. And she phones it, she speaks to him, she's so excited. The first time she's speaking to him in months. And she's so excited. I mean, she had a few minute phone calls, but the first time he's out of Khan Yunis, like on his way out of Khan Yunis, out of Gaza, it was a big like joy, yeah? So, Anyway, we carried on watching the movie. It was Mina Shemaim, she went out that moment of the movie where Bob and his wife were having a fight. And one of the things I realized, they didn't make such an emphasis on it, but the movie's called One Love, but he did not have one love. Yo, brother, over there. David, you're missing the footage, man. It gets good. Yeah? So, one love. He didn't have one love. You hear that? He didn't have one love. What did he have? He had loads of women. You know, Bob, he had children with other wives, yeah, or other women, yeah? So he didn't have one love. He wasn't one love. One love means one woman also. That was my one criticism of him as a person. He wasn't able to really be one love.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you think we can, how can you have one love if you get divorced and then
No, because there's different zugim, there's different soulmates. So you had your first soulmate, it wasn't meant to be. So you get a second soulmate, that's fine.
and why can't you have two at the same time?
Huh?
Why can't you have two at the same time?
That's like old school. Like we used to have lots of wives, but we can't. Look, it's hard enough to focus on one woman. You can focus on two. Like really, because they're not just going to give you what you want. They're going to want other attention. They're going to want financial. There's going to be more to the marriage than just when you're in the mood and she has to be available. It doesn't work that way.
I think I could focus on three.
Huh?
I think I could focus on three.
Yeah, but there's a whole thing about polygamy. There's a whole thing about polygamy. It doesn't work really anymore. Do we really able to support more than one woman, like in all the different ways it's needed? And women themselves, they're not going to stand for it. They've all been like through the feminist movement, and they've all heard all the way the world thinks now. Most women are not going to allow that. Yeah, you'll be lucky to be able to please one woman. Like that would be an achievement. Yeah. Like to really please a woman, it takes a lot of work, a lot of focus, a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of consideration, a lot of struggles, lots of ups and downs. It's worth it. Every minute's worth it, because I said you get to that intimate moment and there's nothing better in the world. But it's worth all the work. The bond you build with this person, the dedication, the love, the soulmate connection is beyond everything. It can give you strength to do everything in life. But you have to work for it. It's not like a freebie. Like we just want to live in Eretz Yisrael. That's like we want to live here. Look what we have to do. We have to go live in these houses of Arabs and fight just to be able to live here. We can't just live here. It's work to live in Eretz Yisrael, to work the land, to work to support ourselves, to defend ourselves. It's work, but it's worth it. And everyone there feels that it's worth it. They get a bit pissed off when they come out and they see everyone doesn't seem to care what they've just done, because they've just worked really hard for us to be able to live peacefully. Remember, at the beginning of the war, every day, missiles flying. If these guys weren't doing what they were doing in Gaza, all those missile sites, you know how many times they've captured missile sites? They would still be there. The missiles would still be, and they'd still be flying towards us. That's what would be going on. So we have to realize that, wow, look at that. That's a lot of games. Anyway, huh?
What was
I think that was they were keeping score. Anyway, it gets better as it goes on, because then you start to see them arresting terrorists and stuff like that.
It's such a nostalgia.
Yeah, let's move it on a little bit. Just get it moving. How'd you speed it up? Just press. I don't know. We'll just leave it. We'll get there eventually. Anyway, the main thing is that I learned so much from having. This is another thing. This guy did not come from religious home at all, but he's showing respect. In the army, my son's used to filling on so many soldiers. We got him an extra pair, but there's so many soldiers who wanna. You see what unit which says on the thing. There's so many soldiers who just wanna connect. They feel like they need to connect to God. There needs to be more to what they're doing, and it's not like this. Like, yeah, go on.
It's hard for them to stay connected. Like, obviously you can stay connected, but like to keep Shabbos, I'm sure it's really hard.
Oh, so Shabbos has become. I spoke to my son about it. Thank you for asking. That's very hard, and the Shabbos. I mean, this is survival. You have to use the Arab parts. There's no choice. So kashrus, everything Jewish-wise they get given kosher food, they get given the opportunity to pray a little bit, but it's all overruled by the Koch Nefesh. The Koch Nefesh is the heter, is the permission for everything. So, for example, my son was walking around with his phone the whole Shabbos. He has to. Yeah. My wife also walks around with a phone, because she's mugging over the dog. She's also got to keep in touch with my son. She's got to be available for that. There's a whole, life has changed because of the war in terms of Shabbos. It doesn't mean Shabbos isn't Shabbos, Shabbos is Shabbos, but we have to realize that Koch Nefesh is, for the soldiers, is more important. And he himself said to me, Tati, Abba, I'm Shomer Shabbat. I'm just right now, this is my way of being Shomer Shabbat. I'm coming out of the war Shomer Shabbat. That's what he said to me. He has no intention to not keep Shabbat after the war, just because he got used to doing other things on Shabbat. And he says that, when he came home, his joy of just seeing Shabbos candles, Shabbos food, Shabbat food, sitting together with family in a proper home, with proper warm food. The joy he had from eating hot meat. He hadn't had hot meat for months.
So good.
Yeah, he loved every single meatball. And then when my wife gave him a chulent thing, and then he was loving the food. Salad, fresh salad. It was like Gan Eden. You start to realize all the different things you take for granted, that you have this beautiful woman in your life, your mother or your wife, or somebody, and they're making all this effort to cook, or if you're a cook, you make all this effort to make the food. Suddenly it's like a level of enjoyment you can't imagine when you've been denied it for so long. The pleasure of a shower. He loved the shower. Having a shower, warm shower. There's no showers. 2 months. You're going to see later on the state of their feet. Their feet are messed up from the lack of hygiene and showers. And there's nothing, you can't take, the whole operation of taking off all your stuff. He managed to have 2 times during those 2 months to wash himself off with a little bit of water and a bit of wiping himself. Most of the guys didn't even do that. They just couldn't be bothered to take all the equipment off and put it all back on, and it wasn't exactly a warm shower. It was just like water washing yourself with it. And so we have to understand what kind of discomfort you're in after months of this, and you've got to just keep going, and it's a mission. It's not like anyway.
They brush their teeth.
Somewhat, yeah. They have some sort of tools and things that they use, paste, and every house they went into, sometimes they cleaned it up. You can see they're cleaning it up, making it nice. So while they're there, they should enjoy it. And some of these houses, they look pretty decent.
That looks so nice to sleep on.
Yeah. And you see the beads from the Arabs, their whole religious thing. I mean, it's intense watching this. I haven't seen all these pictures like this. It's great for me to see it as well, blown up. I've got loads of videos as well. This is when it starts getting to the later part, when he becomes a negavist, my son. He's going to switch his gun, and you're going to start to see all the terrorists. It's amazing some of the things they do on the wall. The Skut Amuna, yeah? Yeah, but you see this? Beautiful stuff. This is Eishali. This is Rabbi Nachman's symbol. My fire will burn till Mashiach's coming. This guy's from Hodu, from India. He's fighting with my son, They all call him Bruchi because he's like the Hasidic guy, with the pears and stuff. Doing a heart thing there. I sent this to a bunch of guys who are Breslov that I'm friends with. They're really excited to see that. I mean, that's the pictures together, sitting in one of these nice chairs. And that's one of the other important things. There's a pride, but not like a pride where it's too far, like Kokomet Simyodi. There's a pride where they see the power of the Israeli army, the IDF. The Arabs are scared of them. Remember, my son doesn't have on these pictures. He doesn't have a GoPro, so he's having to take the pictures. But when you're going to get back next time, if you're around, by the way, you're all welcome. I did intend to bring food today, and I did intend there to be some sort of party, but it didn't work out. So all of you are invited at any point. You've got my number. If you were in the frat and you want to come around for a l'chaim, for a biscuit, I'm English, a biscuit means a cookie, or freshly made. We had a whole bunch, it wasn't enough for all of you, and I didn't want to bring and then some got, some didn't. And my wife's still recovering from having my son home, and she's not well from all the stress and all the dedication she did for him. That's an Arab gun, by the way, that he's holding. But he said there's so much weapons in the houses. He said that most of the time you're finding Russian rifles. Yeah, that's the main type of guns. That's a good question. I didn't ask him that, but I assume they hand them into the trucks that come bring them food and stuff like that. Can't just leave them there. Yeah, we can't just leave like all the weapons and stuff lying around. We've got to take care of it. Yeah, it's just amazing, like seeing this. Like every so often they get deliveries. They're also another thing they've gone on many times into the makolets of the Arabs, like the shops there, and they've stocked up with all kinds of food and stuff, and they just take it because there's no shop owner anymore. And look at their feet; it's so messed up. Here and there they'll take them off, like they're yellow and like sores, and it's intense. And what's nice is my son now has this, like, I sent all these pictures to his WhatsApp. He has all these pictures, he forwarded them onto his unit. And so they have all these memories. They'll never forget these times together. And thank God his unit's all bishlam, like no one's been killed, thank God. They're all together. And we prayed till the end as well, to the end of this war. They've been really good unit, like really on their toes and really looking out for each other. And I just want to ask anyone, before we finish off, we're finishing off in like 10 minutes or so. Does anyone feel like there was something that this course like stood out, a point, like obviously I have my own personal journey, but then each of you are going to have yours. Is there anything that stood out that you want to share? Like, just give me feedback. If you don't feel like doing it now, you can send it to me privately, or if you want to send it on the group, I also don't mind. The main thing is that we communicate. Everyone's got stuff going on inside of them. We're not alone. We're together. We're a nation. We're a people. We're here for each other. Life can get pretty tough. I know with my son, for example, he had times he hated being in the army. Hated it. He was freaking out. He was having anxiety attacks. He did not want to be in this unit. He did not want to, and I'm not talking about Gaza. By the time he got to Gaza, he was ready to go. I'm saying in the training, the build-up, when he was in Lebanon, other situations, he was having a really hard time. And thank God he stuck with it. But one of the keys was he always had people he could talk to. He had my wife. He had, before they weren't taking away phones in those days, so he could phone up my wife. They spent hours on the phone. He had people, some of them, were amazing, were really there for him. He had some really hard Mefakdim, people who were not good for him, who were not nice to him at all. That was really rough. Thank God that his Mefaked is amazing, and really nice people, really believe in him, and empowering him and stuff. And but it's important you connect yourself to people that you can trust, that you can talk out stuff in life. Because ultimately you're going to find that's another big thing. You want to make sure when you find your soulmate that this is someone you can really trust and talk to about real things. We've spoken about this. You've got to face your stuff. Not just stuff your face your stuff. You're going to be able to deal with things. You're going to be able to process things. And because my son, thank God, has that kind of relationship with my wife, and myself a little bit as well, and other people around, he's very open. Like even his boys, he was shouting them on the phone when he came back. He was like, you just don't get it. Like, I haven't showered for 2 months. Yeah, like you don't get what we're going through. You don't understand. Like he was trying to communicate to them so they can understand a little bit where he's at, like what he wants to do with them that night. He needs to have an experience, a special moment, not their just usual, they would just get drunk and walk around the shuk. He wants to do more than that. Yeah, he wanted to do more and connect with people who are focused and real. And that's it's like a wake up in life that you start to realize how you want to experience moments with your boys, with the people you care about. You don't want to just have superficial experiences. Yeah, you don't want to have some dude putting you down and making fun of you or who knows what. Yeah, you want to be having bonding experiences. Life should be meaningful and purposeful, and with people that you can experience that together. And I just really got a lot of personally a lot of light from my son coming back, and the whole situation right now in Israel. There is some sort of waking up. Not everybody, but generally there's a feeling of people are more aware of who they are, what they are. So I want to get to the part where you start to see all the terrorists. I've got like footages of them also moving all the videos of them moving all the civilians, because there were still loads of civilians in Khan Yunis. I've got footage of them talking to the terrorists. I've got footage of them.
Your son knows Arabic?
He does know some, yeah.
But did you learn it before the war?
He says like this, some of the feeling of fear that some of the Arabs have had towards them is crazy. Like they're like screaming like crazy sounds, like because they know that they're being dominated like over there. It's not like we're coming and giving them out free pies and like move on please. Like it's serious. And we're not taking risks. One of the things my son did is he dressed up a little bit like an Arab, like he put on certain clothing, and it almost looked a bit terrorist style. He got in a lot of trouble for that, because if someone's standing there with guns and looks like a terrorist, they're just going to kill him. They're not going to like wait to see if it's a soldier or not. It's a different kind of alertness, because guys can just pop out of nowhere from the tunnels that you didn't find.
You went in the tunnels yourself?
He's helped us in the first part of the war. He helped discover that large tunnel, the very big one they were able to drive trucks through and stuff. So his unit discovered that tunnel. They were the ones who uncovered that. And they were on guard many times outside of tunnels to make sure that no one came out or who went in. If units were going in to do what they had to do, they had to guard on the outside. Remember, as I said, this is not GoPro footage, this is him with his camera, so he couldn't really take footage of all the interactions, all the times they were in houses with the terrorists and the Shabak came, and obviously you can't take pictures of the Shabak. But yeah, all the time being on guard, being focused, being with your boys, looking out for each other, learning to live with people day after day after day. This is like a lot of keys here for intimacy, for marriage. You're going to live with this lady, with all her needs and all her space things, and you're going to live together. And it's not going to be like all the time, like party time. Yeah, I know, like you go on Netflix and it looks like everyone's just partying. That's like guy and girl. It's always these peak moments that always show those peak moments of where the most passion, but that's not real life. Real life is learning how to live with a person and learning how to, it's not such fun footage, but it's real footage. It's real life, real relationships, how to care for another person. You go make yourself food, make the other person food. You go get a drink, make the other person a drink. It's about thinking about someone other than yourself. And that's one of the beautiful things about the army. It trains these guys to go beyond themselves, and it gives them a feeling of fulfillment. He was elated when he came back to the base. It wasn't even a base in Gaza. He was elated. He was like as if he was on drugs, how high he was, just to see all his boys and the love they have to each other. All these different guys from different worlds, the love they have, the energy they have, the excitement, they're doing something, they're not, and the meaningfulness. And you think, well, it looks like a lot of just chilling, but this is like all the time they're not doing the missions. They have to like come down a second, but they're doing it together. There's real conversations. They're not thinking about how they look online and posting and all this stuff. It's just maybe they're taking some pictures for memories, but they're not posting this. It's not like status. It's real. It's connection, and this is something which is a lost art. And each of us individually can try gain back real relationships, real time with people. You'll feel so much. He said it's like Chaim and meeting in Gaza. At one point he was like, I just want to go back to Gaza. Not because he wants to be in this dump, but because he wants to be in that kind of space where he's really connecting with people. Does everyone get the point what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like a different flow, and each of you are going to find it in moments of this in your life. It's become quite popular in America now for some people to go offline for a while. Just to go offline. They go on like a teal, or they they have a Shabbat, they call it like a detox, a technological detox, and it just to just let go of this stuff for a little bit and just home into who you are, what your life is about, go into nature. People go on these like walks for days and or go hunting like Rogan style, whatever it is, just to get out of the rat race of life and the phones and everything, just to get away from it. So you can just refocus, ground yourself again. And this is really important that they're doing this for much higher reasons. They're trying to protect us all from our enemies who want to kill us. So it's very purposeful why they're in this space. But we can actually choose it when we're not being forced to do this. We can choose it on some level. Like we're going to have times before this program ends. You're going to have times where you can just say, you know what, F the phones. I'm just going to go connect with my boys here in Bnei Akiva world. I'm going to connect with the program and all these wonderful souls I met. I'm going to stay connected with these people for life. These are real friendships. You know, this is the kind of thank God I told you, I'm still very close with all my boys from London. These are boys for life. You should think about that a little bit. This is part of the intimacy keys to really bond with people, really connect. So think about them as souls. These are soul connections. The soul is attuned to life, is attuned to truth. It's not just a superficial experience. And I think we all have ability to have these kind of relationships because we are Jewish souls. We have a deep voice within that knows these kind of truths. And as we get near to the end, we're going to start to see all the action. It's taking its time. I didn't realize how many pictures there are. Maybe let me just speed it up a little bit. I don't know how to do that. This is where we were before at the beginning. So this is the terrorists that they've captured. You see? Guys, you seeing what's going on? Hey, who's sleeping? How can you sleep during this? Man. Wake him up, man. You should not be sleeping. Yo! Sammy! Wake up, brother. Sorry, man. I've got to do this to you. So this is like, they've got to keep these dudes in a disciplined state. This isn't a joke. That's my son now. He's got his negatives. Yeah. See, now one smash on the head with that, you're not going to be talking again.
At least.
Huh?
At least a concussion.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, and my son showed me how heavy the bullets are. He pulled them out, like a long chain of bullets. In each one of these pouches, five of those around them. You know? And they're walking around with that. Yeah. These are pictures you're not going to see on the news. Yeah? I have no one's doing that. Okay, sorry it took a while to get to this, but whatever. There's some great pictures here. They're coming up Abbas's face. Look, his guns on the stage, and he's like giving a speech. This is domination here. You see this? Severe, man. Come on, this is your kind of vibe. This is us dominating all these dudes. You love this, no? Get excited, man. This is us. You hear all this crap on the news about ceasefire, all this crap. This is us dominating. This is domination. This is victory. Instead of every day waking up to hear another soldier died, God forbid, let's watch our victory over there. We're dominating over their place. Yeah, there's a guy, he's a sledgehammer guy, Russian dude, he loves it. No, he loves it. He comes and smashes down the wall.
That's so sick.
That's an Indian dude putting on his fill-in. I didn't see these pictures yet, but he's filling them. That's the first time I saw him fill-in them.
This fucking shithole guy.
That's so imagine being
Yeah, these are gyms they have.
They found a gym.
Nice gym.
He was working out with his Megan.
Yeah, man. That's true.
Powerhouse.
And I mean, these pictures are beyond, you know. I can't really. I mean, that you saw that hammer before.
Yeah.
To get down the walls. They go through the walls. That's the whole thing. No doorways. It's teamwork. You don't know what's going to be on the other side, you know. There's intel. There's drones, but they have drones, by the way. They have a guy who uses drones, goes into the places before them.
A lot of Israeli drones get shut down by.
Hey, look at the feet. You see what's going on?
Disgusting.
No, but it's important to see what this is the kind of discomfort they're going through. And there's no one come to their massage their poor little feet. You can't go. That's the doctor they have. She's a wife with kids.
Wow.
She's pooing with them, eating with them, just doing all the women stuff, but with a bunch of men in order to be there for them as a doctor, army doctor. It takes that whole energy to a different place. See, it's survival. Every place they go, they've got to clean out the house. Then they've got to clean it up a little bit, like so they can live there. And then they've got to cook, eat, drink, sleep, and then on to the next place. It's like a whole process.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to the videos. I got like hours of footage, of videos.
But wait, is this 60 gigabyte completely full?
What do you mean?
Literally.
I sent him off with a camera and a 60 gigabyte thing. Oh, that's my son got in trouble for this, by the way, because that was a bit dodgy. Dress up like
was
an
was it the 60 gigabyte SD card full after this?
Yeah,
Oh, then we're not gonna get there for a while.
yeah, it's endless.
Right.
Remember, this isn't GoPro footage. GoPro would be,
I have 60 gigabytes for SD card and I have 3,000 photos. We're at 1,500 for 60 gigabytes.
yeah. So let's go to some of the, quickly before we finish off. Let's just go to some of the videos. You want to see the videos?
Yes. Yeah. Are you okay with looking at people killing Arabs or terrorists, or is that we don't like
I
still?
don't think that's what the video is.
No, I'm saying like. Terrorists?
What are you talking about?
Sorry guys, it's a bit of intense like story today, but why not? We need to experience what our people are experiencing.
What do I say is exaggerated, but no, it isn't.
This is the house. You see how much damage, carnage has gone
This
there.
video looks so old, it looks so sick.
Like the problem is that it could be snipers, all kinds of things. They've got to be constantly on alert.
It's called a G.
Yeah, it's heavy duty. This is heavy, real stuff going on. We'll find the video a bit more like where you can see. Let's see what this is. This is them, the construction, because they've got like these big. They're cleaning up the areas. There's some scenes here where suddenly you're seeing them standing around, and then suddenly they're being fired on, and you see them all maneuvering, and it's crazy. It's like a proper war scene. This is when they're not sitting around the house. It's real stuff going on.
Oh wow, really appreciate the picture.
Sometimes it's like short because it's like there's actual stuff going on.
Wow.
There's the tanks, you see. It's blowing smoke into the, so they can't just RPG it for defensive reasons.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it protects the tank. So the RPGs can't just locate. Understand? There's obviously there's heavy footage over there.
I mean, that's not me, just there looking at something. I have a question, Ali.
Yes.
Does your son speak Hebrew or English?
Who?
Your son.
My son speaks Yiddish, English, Hebrew.
You speak Yiddish?
Ja, weiß. Ja, warte. I was by many rabbis, holy Siddiqim. This is when they go around the houses. You see what they're looking for. They have to check everything. It's part of the whole thing. He goes into the bedrooms, you see the kind of jewellery and perfume, and sometimes the house has just been smashed from like the missiles or whatever. Each situation is different. I mean, it's just hours and hours of footage here, yeah?
Camera was rarely used.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, what's going on? Hello. It's no joke, man. Now he's got negatives. He's for sure killed people because he's like let loose, you know, bullets into. Yeah, they're dudes, these guys. I don't know. We could go on all day. I don't know. I've got like just picking out from hundreds of videos here. Yeah. Anyway, to end off the class, it's the end of the session. I just want to wish you all lots of beautiful, beautiful days ahead in your life.
Thank you.
We have to thank my son for his mission to protect us all. Thank you guys for your attention. Thank your Bnei Akiva world. Thank you Hashem that we had these opportunities. You have all the audios, you have all the classes. It's all helpful, real stuff. And everyone should be blessed with finding their soulmate and only good news. Amen.